There was a death before Ken's. And I'm going to risk this. It was my ex-mother-in-law. She died the month after I went to the police. 8th of June, 88. I'm pretty sure it was a Wednesday, like so many of the others. I could make a long list of Wednesday deaths around me. Woden's Day. My ex inherited her £100,000 house, and having talked about moving to North Wales, vanished and turned up in Cornwall. He vanished for a very short period, then turned up in Cornwall. I wouldn't have thought much about that, except that a lot of other members of the Bourne Ring also turned up in Cornwall, registering babies' births there, which is how I know they went there. So actually the first to go was my ex-mother-in-law, my ex-husband's mother. Again, of course, she was an old woman, and again, of course, it could have been natural. However, my husband was, he didn't get on with her, and I know him to have been a violent man. So actually, chronologically, whether natural or not, she died first. Chronologically, whether natural or not, Ken died second. As I said, that was convenient because he couldn't testify. And the next to go was my mother. I've talked about that in some detail. 20th of December, Wednesday, 1989. My father had plenty of motives, it has to be said, for killing her. Plenty. But I do wonder if it was, in part, a punishment of me. Open your mouth and someone you love will die. It might seem odd that I love my mother after what I've said about her, but I did. I hated her sometimes as well, but I also loved her. And I did care very, very deeply about her death. My father's other motives were to sell the house they owned and to move around the corner from me, which brought him close to both my children, and it also took him close to Ellen Green, the mother of Fiona, who also wound up dead. And I've described that death and his phone call to me regarding that death. I needn't necessarily assume, therefore, that my mother's death had anything to do with my going to the police. But I also can't rule out that it was a factor. I also believe that Fiona's death was connected by more than just my father. Although it was 4 years and 2 months after my mother's, and I thought the whole thing was over. I thought it was all over. I cannot rule out that she had some kind of connection to the pornography ring, which pornography rings never die. For one thing, there is never just one ring. There are lots of interlinked rings. And as we know now, I think they're globally linked. And they don't die. They just pick up where they left off. And Fiona had 2 little children, 5 and 3. I have to be a little careful, they're adult and I've been in recent contact with them. But I do not rule out that Fiona passively, I don't think actively, had become involved in that porn ring in some way or another.